Welcome to the Human Condition Podcast, episode number 7. I'm your host, American Council on Exercise Certified Personal Trainer, Kiri Jones. On today's episode, which is back on schedule, I'm going to be talking about the most recent blog, an update on the book I've been reading called Why We Sleep, and then I'm going to be giving some actionable advice to getting some control over your diet, nutrition, especially if you're a beginner. So first I want to discuss the blog. And the blog is about being cautious about who you hire as a personal trainer or health coach. Investing in something like this is an investment in your health. So it is then prudent to make sure that you are making an investment that is actually going to benefit you. It's important for people to understand, because it's not widely known, that in a lot of areas, in most areas, it is not a legal requirement for you to be certified to call yourself a personal trainer. You can just jump on the internet and tell people that you can help them get a six-pack or you can help them lose some odd amount of weight and then just hire clients. It's that easy. And I say that it's that easy because the market is extremely oversaturated, which is something that any qualified personal trainer deals with. And I'm not saying that people are doing this, with ill intentions. I don't think that people are intending on just going online and claiming to be a personal trainer for nefarious reasons. I think they genuinely do intend to help people, but the difference is they're coming at it from a place of what their understanding of the human body, and maybe it's their own understanding or understanding from the few people that they have helped. But there is so much that goes into the understanding of the human body and health and fitness that maybe if they are doing this, they should consider formal education in it, if you will. So specifically through the American Council on Exercise, the course that I took to become a personal trainer included anatomy, physiology, and that's physiology of the body just generally, and then also physiology of the body as it applies to exercise, kinesiology, and basic nutrition. And that is just for the basic personal trainer certification. There are other specialist courses, and I've taken a few that are available through the American Council on Exercise. And also there's quite a few reputable places where you can get your personal trainer certification. And not to mention, there are dozens, if not thousands of courses and books that you can read in order to further your education. That's kind of like what I do. I have my base knowledge. I have a couple of specialist courses, and now I will read things in order to further my understanding, because I want to expand my knowledge on holistic health and fitness, not just exercise, weight management, and basic nutrition. So some red flags that you should look out for whenever you're working with a personal trainer is that they focus solely on weight loss. Obviously, when people hire personal trainers or health coaches, one of their goals may be weight loss. But the focus should not solely be on weight loss. There are so many other factors that go into your entire puzzle of health and fitness that focusing on just that narrow of a spot is the same thing as focusing on one symptom instead of the whole picture. There are other things that go into it, like your mobility, resistance training versus cardio and how to balance those, functional training or functional fitness. Considerations need to be made for clients that might have chronic illnesses or diseases and limitations. It's just there's so much that goes into it. So if you're focusing solely on your weight loss with your personal trainer, that might be a red flag. Another thing is that they suggest or sell supplements. I understand that this may not always be a high-paying gig. I am currently not making any money off of any portion of the human condition whatsoever. I'm doing this as, right now, this is a side hobby that I am willing to put my time into in order to educate other people. And then hopefully in the future, I might be able to get some sort of income from it. But for the time being, I make no money. I know that people that work at big box gyms make very little money. So a lot of times what will happen is people will then go to selling supplements. They are affiliate marketing through brands, associating themselves with it, and then selling them to other people. I cannot in good consciousness sell supplements or affiliate myself with a specific supplement brand because, and I'm not throwing rocks at glass houses, I take supplements. But I would never suggest to somebody that they should be taking supplements because supplements are, as they sound, supplemental to your diet. They are in addition to, they are not instead of, and they're not the answer. They're not going to be the thing that solves the puzzle and helps you get to where you want to be. So I'm not going to sit here and throw some elevator speech at you about why you should take this specific brand of whatever, because that's just not fair. It's not transparent. I'm more than happy to discuss the supplements that I take if somebody wants to know, but I'm not going to tell you to take them. And I'm definitely not going to sell them to you. Another red flag could be that they make these huge and grandiose promises. The caveat to that is if you're just starting out and you're brand new to your health and fitness journey, the promise that is made to you might not sound unattainable because you might not know better. But there is a speed at which it's healthy to gain or lose weight. There is the time considerations that need to be made, not only to accommodate your actual life, but for physiological changes to occur in your body. And what ends up happening, or what could end up happening, is you could be, weeks, months down the line with a personal trainer who made you this huge promise, and maybe you're not there, maybe you're not even close. And now you're going to wonder what you did wrong. And what the reality is that this was coming from a personal trainer who had limited knowledge and understanding in order to apply a realistic and attainable goal to you. And that's not your fault. Another major red flag, and this doesn't happen often, but I have unfortunately seen so many posts in forums about this, is their personal trainer is using body shaming language. And I'm not even talking about specifically overt, because that does happen, but even just on the smallest scale. At no point should your personal trainer ever be commenting on your physical appearance. And I don't mean like in terms of how you look when you're performing a repetition, because obviously at that point they have to explain to you if you're doing the movement wrong or what you're doing right. But they shouldn't be commenting on your physical appearance. They should not be commenting on the clothes that you're wearing. And I even saw one post where this person was physically fit, working with a personal trainer. They're just, getting that added edge. This personal trainer was making comments about some other gym goers. And that's just, it's A, not professional, B, not appropriate, and C, shouldn't happen. So if your personal trainer is using language that is making you uncomfortable, you have every right to fire that personal trainer and find a new one. The final one that I have on my list for today, and this is not an exhaustive list, is you're not seeing progress and there's bad communication. If you're not seeing progress and you're not understanding why, and it is not being explained to you in a way that makes sense, or adjustments are not being made to your routine, and you're just not happy You hired this person to help you. You can then find somebody else that might serve you better. And this is not me putting the blame on a personal trainer for no progress being shown, because I have met my fair share of people who don't want to put in the work. And that's unfortunate, because regardless of whether or not you're doing your all as a personal trainer, sometimes your all just isn't enough for them. But again, if you as the client are doing everything that you're being told and you are not seeing progress, and they are not telling you why that could possibly be or how to fix it, that's a problem. There should always be a level of communication and understanding on your own health and fitness journey that you feel confident in. So that is my short list of some red flags you can look out for when you're looking for a personal trainer, or if you're already looking for one that you might not be happy with. So on to my update for the book, Why We Sleep by Dr. Matthew Walker. I have not read a book that has been this eye-opening and impactful in a while. And what I want to do is I want to read a portion of the book that I had seen that essentially just sums up the whole book and why sleep is important. Scientists have discovered a revolutionary new treatment that makes you live longer. It enhances your memory and makes you more creative. It makes you look more attractive. It keeps you slim and lowers food cravings. It protects you from cancer and dementia. It wards off colds and the flu. It lowers your risk of heart attacks and stroke, not to mention diabetes. You'll even feel happier, less depressed, and less anxious. Are you interested? And that is at the beginning of chapter 6. When I tell you that I had far less of an understanding than I thought I did on why sleep was important, I am not kidding. I'm going to share the impacts the book had on me. I'm not going to go deeply into the research and the data that's in this book, because there's a lot. I mean, it's not a small book. I said in the last episode that, I was part of the rise and grind generation, and I know it kind of still exists to some degree, but I thought that if I got just close to 7 hours of sleep, I was solid. And unfortunately, now I realize the impacts that it's been having. And I've had a history in my life of depression and anxiety. I've had some bouts of issues controlling my blood sugar. I have a few migraines a year. There's just a lot that goes into it. I'm not saying that sleep is going to correct every single one of these, but it does have such a huge impact on them. And I really think as a society, we need to push for a deeper understanding and education of sleep. And I don't even mean in the health and fitness industry. I mean as like a PSA on TV, because so many chronic things are on the rise and have been on the rise for years, that if we could just start with sleep, then I think we would see a decrease in a lot of these issues. As it turns out, a good portion of the population is chronically underslept. So, I don't know, if you want to have this kind of shocking, eye-opening experience of understanding what sleep is, what it does, the impacts on so many different conditions. It even goes into dreaming and why we dream, which is mind-blowing to me. I didn't even realize that science was researching this, but yeah, I would suggest this reading to anybody who is looking to deeper understand sleep. The final thing that I want to talk about on the podcast today is some actionable steps for gaining control of your diet or your nutrition. And this is applicable across the board, whether or not you're like you've been trying on your health and fitness journey for a while or you're brand new to it. So what people tend to do is they tend to go online and they're like, oh, these people are tracking their macros. I'm just going to go on and just start there. And for habit formation, that might actually be difficult, and it might do the opposite in helping you feel motivated to fix your nutrition. So what I would suggest is, if you're trying to build this in to your daily life and you want it to be sustainable, spend some time just writing down what you're eating and drinking in a day. Don't track your calories, don't track your macros, don't even change the portion sizes that you're eating. Just, if it goes in your mouth, write it down. And just spend enough time doing that you remember to do it every day. And this could be a week, it could be 2 weeks, Take some time, write everything down, track nothing else. Once you're comfortable in your ability to write down what you're eating, then I want you to graduate to physically paying attention to the serving sizes. Turn the box or the bag or whatever and look at the label and see what the serving size says. Most of them will say like a cup of this or a tablespoon of that or whatever, but then they have like milliliters or grams. And if you want to know what those are, you can get a relatively inexpensive food scale to then weigh your portions out. I find that easier because I don't know. I just do. It's just the way my brain works. That doesn't necessarily mean you will, but. So you started by writing everything down, and now you have graduated to paying attention to your portion sizes. Again, not yet. We are not tracking calories and we are not tracking macros. Just pay attention to portion sizes. Do this for the length of time that it takes for it to become a habit for you. Keep writing the things down, but now you can make sure that you include the portion size of the thing that you ate in there. Once this becomes comfortable for you, then focus on calories. Do research into your own, your BMI, height, weight, body fat, whatever. Check your TDEE with, I think it's TDEE calculator, TDEE, total daily energy expenditure. Do some research into different types of caloric burn, like NEAT. But make sure that you're doing this based on you and not based on, because a lot of those nutrition labels are based on a 2,000 calorie diet. You specifically might not need 2,000 calories to maintain. So eating the portion sizes that are recommended on every meal that you have in a day might not actually be working for you, which might be something that is contributing to your issues with weight fluctuations. So we have graduated this far. You are writing things down. You are now writing the portion size down next to it. Then you are writing the calories that are associated with those portion sizes. Now you're at a point where you can track your energy in and energy out expenditures. And it's not overwhelming because you're not starting the whole thing all at once. If you do not have a fitness tracker, like a Fitbit or an Oura Ring or whatever, you can just simply go online and search, like maybe you went for a 2-mile walk at a brisk pace. You can search 2-mile walk at a brisk pace, calories burned, and it'll give you an approximate amount of calories burned. Or anything, 10 minutes of deadlifts. I don't know. This will give you an approximation. So you'll have an approximation of your energy expenditure and then the input from your food. And if you're trying to lose weight, then your expenditure should be higher than your input. And if you are trying to gain weight, it should be the other way around. So now we're here. If you feel so inclined to, and maybe you're plateauing, or maybe you really are into this health and fitness journey and it's more than just about gaining that sense of control over your diet, nutrition, maybe you've heard the word macros before. Macros are macronutrients. Those are fat, carbs, proteins, and then in some cases alcohol, but we're not going to cover the specifics on those macros today. Just know that when you look at a nutrition label, just like the calories, there is also your fat content, your carbohydrate content, and your protein content. It's listed on the label. So if you're at this point and you're continuing and you want to track your macros, you then take this thing that you've started and you write down what you ate, the portion sizes, the calorie content you've gotten from measuring out your food, and then you look at the nutrition label and you write down, based on what you ate, the macronutrient content. There are further things that you can do in terms of tweaking your macros in order to change or make your goals attainable or different. But we're not going to get into that today. This is strictly for, maybe it's been years since you've tried to be on a health and fitness journey and now you're all of a sudden trying again, but everything seems overwhelming. Just start there. Diet is such a huge portion of your health and fitness in general. So, start there. If these steps sound like something you're interested in, or you've tried it and it worked for you, or you have further questions, go ahead and reach out to me, because I will answer questions based on wherever they come from. I'm even fielding questions from, and I didn't realize this before, but apparently once you try to start a business and you start posting content, people come out of the woodwork trying to sell you their services because, do you need 10,000 Instagram followers? Do you know about SEO optimization? Oh my God, I don't need all that. I'm not in it for the followers. I'm just in it to educate people. But yeah, even if you don't have questions about whatever I said in the previous podcast, reach out anyway. You could say hi. I'll say hi back, because why not? So, with that being said, here was episode number 7 of the Human Condition podcast. I will hopefully be on a schedule now where I'm recording them the Monday prior to their posting. So they post on Fridays. It's the Monday of that week. So try to get your questions or comments in that you would like to hear on the podcast ahead of time. But without any further ado and rambling, until next time.